Okay. So we'll start with this question first. Insert, delete, get random. So it says implement the randomized class. Initialize randomized set. Insert, remove, and get random. Returns a random element from the.
The current set of elements is guaranteed that at least one element exists when the method is called.
There will be at least one element in the data structure which is called follow-up. Could you implement with the? Okay, and also there is one more thing given here usually is that don't know what that. How do I do? So in that method is there, right? I mean, you are given a number between 0 and 9. If you do get rand, it will get you give you some number between that.
Right.
Right. So usually that is also given actually in this question.
Oh, they give you a random number generator?
Yes. So that is implemented. I mean, you assume that that is present.
Why 0 to 9?
I mean, you give any number. I mean, for example,
Oh,
0
okay,
to
okay,
100.
yeah, okay.
It's actually it's actually 0 to 1, right? And then it will give you, I think,
0 to
0.1.
n minus 1.
0.1, and you will multiply it by 10 and you get 1.
Okay.
I mean, it says, I mean, assume that there's a generator. You give that method 2 numbers and it will generate you a number between that.
Inclusive or exclusive?
Anything. I mean, it's your assumption.
Oh, because some languages will generate between 0 to n minus 1. Other languages will generate 0 to n.
So I mean, here this question is more about designing the data structure rather than specific on the language.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I mean, so interview you can assume anything, right? I mean, wait 1 second. My wife is watching a movie. Yes. So let me see. So you have let's say test cases: insert, remove, insert, get random. So what does get random do? It returns 1 or 2 randomly. Dot remove.
But it's an
So
O of 1 get random, right?
okay. So basically, it is. So has everyone understood the question? Okay. Get random returns a random element from the current set of elements. It's guaranteed that at least one element exits when the is called. Each element must have the same probability of being returned. Okay. So has everyone understood the question?
Yes.
Okay. So let me just write out. We need insert of val, remove of val, get random, returns a value at random, and this we can send in duplicates also, right? Yes, 1, 2. Okay.
Yeah, duplicates is fine. So
Okay. So
Duplicates are there. How should the probability be spread
I think the
across?
the
same.
probability is the same for any number. It's not based on the number. It's
No, if
basically
the number is appearing more than once, should
no.
it
It said each element must have the same probability of
Yeah,
being
if there are 100 elements and all are 1,
Yeah.
retrieval of any one should be like, if there are half of ones, half of twos, the probability will still
each
be
have a
50%.
1% of being returned.
Yes.
Meaning
Assume
it's
each number is yes.
the number of elements divided by 100. So
Okay.
Understood, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we are here worried about. I mean, you can say that every number that gets sent in has a unique ID, even if the number is 1.
Yeah.
But assume each number that goes in is an object, and they all have a unique ID.
Yeah.
Right. And so the probability of retrieval of any object has to be equal. So if you ask for 1, it will return a random 1, but its probability to come out is different. Will be like equal. Understood?
Yeah.
So
No, Ankur, I did not understand.
what?
So if I have, let's say I have 5 numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. If I look at it mathematically, each of those has a 20% chance of being returned, right?
Yeah, let's take another example like 1, 2, 2, 3, 4.
Hey,
Right.
one second. See here, insert. Returns are, so if there's one already, you cannot return again one. I mean, you cannot insert again one.
Yeah,
So
that's what I
that
said.
solves the problem.
Yeah, that's why
Oh, if
it's
not
confusing
present.
to me. Yeah,
Oh, it's a set. Oh yeah.
it's
easy.
a set.
Yeah, basically a set. Okay, so that's the first intuition, that we have to use something like an
But
set. Yeah.
so it means like we are completely forgetting duplicates and assigning randomness percentage based on the space it is taking in the set,
Hmm.
the volume. Like
Yes,
uh,
is randomness.
Well, if
that
even if
cannot
it's a
be
regular
possible.
set and I pick n times against it.
Let's take this example 1, 2, 2, 3, 4.
Mhm.
1,
And
2,
now if I get 1, 2, 2, 3,
2,
4, if I put that into a set, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. But when I'm calling get random 5
Mhm.
times, your 2 should come twice.
No,
Wait,
it's
you have
random.
1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, you have
It's-
5 also?
The initial set is 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 2, 3, 4 is the
You
value.
don't have 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. It's a set, right?
Yeah,
It
the
like,
set will contain 1, 2, 3, 4. But
Yeah,
the operations are insert 1, insert 2, insert 2, insert 3.
yeah, I mean in a set it is like that, but I'm asking, when they call like random, like do we have to save the number of times a number is appearing?
no.
No,
So
it
everyone
is
will have 25%.
It's based off the
yeah.
set.
25%. Okay, that's the confusion I have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
It's
the
numbered in
thing
a
is,
set,
yeah.
depending on how many numbers are, how
Certain thing.
long, how big the set is. Every index has an equal chance of being returned. Okay.
Okay, and also assume that you have a method called I think it's rand in Python, right? I don't know how it works. Then it gives a number between 0 to n minus 1,
Yeah. Okay.
something like this. Yes. So yeah. So you have a set. So how will you do this? Is there a brute force for this? You insert into a set, you remove a set, get random.
I'm going to use a hash map because it's a set, right? So I need to make sure there aren't any duplicates.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So you put everything in the
the
hash map. So
right.
here the main idea is how do you implement get random? So if you have 10 elements in the hash map,
right.
how do you retrieve? How do you get a random element?
Well, because if I do hash map dot keys, right, I get an array of the keys. Okay. And then I just randomly pick an index from that array.
Which array?
So hash map has keys and values, right? And in this case, we're just using keys. We don't care about the values, right? Okay. So if I do hash map dot keys, it gets me an array, which is a list of all the keys. And,
Wait, 1 second. Hash map of
key and values, right?
which is 2 and 2 and 2, 3 and 2, like this. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Okay.
This is what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Now if I have that hash map, usually if you have a hash map, they have a method which lets you get the keys, right? Okay. And that keys will return an array. Okay. If I have that array, I can randomly pick, right? Based on the length.
Okay. And then for removing, you just do this, you remove this one.
Right. If I do removal and insertion into a hash map are O of 1, right? Okay. Get random is O of n.
Get how is this O of n? You get keys.
Right. If I get keys, it has to enumerate all the keys in the hash map.
Yes, it's O of n. Right. Yes, right. Is O of n.
Right.
So enumeration.
It's an enumeration and allocation. Right.
Because we'll have to basically get through all the keys, and if we assume that there's the get rand is O of 1,
Right.
it'll still be O of n, right? Yes.
Right.
So was this your issue?
That's why.
Was this where you were stuck?
Because that worked, right? That'll work, right? But what I said at the end of the problem, follow up. could you implement the functions of the class with each function working in average O of 1 time, right? I have insert and remove both working in O of 1 time because it's a hash map, right? Get random is working in O of n time. So now I was thinking,
Yeah.
how do I?
So any ideas, Anil, Ankit, Sue, Vishal? I mean, only answer if you have not seen the question before, not solved it before.
Can you explain the current get random?
Okay,
So
so
get, yeah, Devin, go.
all right. So if I have a dictionary or a hash map, right? Insertion into a dictionary is O of 1, right?
Right.
Deletion from a dictionary is O of 1, right?
Yeah.
So if I have a dictionary, what's the time complexity to get a random element?
First of all, why are you using a dictionary? Why not a set?
We're implementing a set. We're implementing a set called a get random, a random set, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming we can't use a set. Otherwise, it makes it really easy.
Okay.
But
So you're
why-
saying if you do a set, you do rand, you get you. I mean, even if you have a set, how do you figure out? I mean, yeah, So if you were to use a set, how you get random?
So we can do
Set
a
doesn't
map.
have indexes, right?
Okay, got it now.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to convert it into an array, right? And then do a get random, right?
Got it. So you're using hash map with index as the key and the value as the. It's basically the same value. Got it. Understood now.
I mean, if you look at it, a dictionary is basically a set. For the keys, it is a set, right?
Right. Yes. Okay, so you generate math. Why is it order of n? Because you say math.random, which will give a number from 0 to the size of the n-1 of the size of the dictionary. And then you basically pick the corresponding value from that map. Why is
Yes.
it a order of n?
N.
Yeah.
Because get
Order of
keys, you have
n,
to
because if I have
enumerate
a
the whole
set,
hash
I
map.
have to loop over the entire hash map to get all the elements, right?
So Sue, he has not. The keys are not the indexes.
Yeah. If
Here
you
the
put
keys are the values.
Yeah, if we put indices, then it will be, we need not iterate through all the map, right? It will be in order of like math.random. If you give 0 to n-1, so whatever index it gives, you will get the corresponding value from the map. So 0 will be the key, value will be the
But
actual value.
a map doesn't have index-based access.
No, and how will you implement remove then? If you have done a remove,
Yeah,
let's
key.
say
Oh,
you have to
okay.
remove 3.
Okay, got
And
it.
if you remove 3, let's say it was at index 1, this 3. If you remove this one, now you have 0, you have 2, 3. These will be your indexes, right? So if you do a random, you'll random at 1. You didn't get 1. So the probability of getting is not same, right?
So you have to maintain
You
two
can't
maps.
assume what you're inserting into the hash map are consecutive numbers.
Yeah. How about using two maps? One to index to key and other way around.
Wait. How did we get from one map to 2? You've lost me.
No. Why?
Okay, so all right. We start off with one hash map, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, Sue, she is going in the right direction. Two
Yeah,
maps.
but what I'm trying to understand is how did she get from 1 to 2? That's
Because
so I think she's converting index value index, right?
right. Yeah.
But where is the index in hash map?
yeah. The hash map doesn't have indexes. In order to get the indexes, you need to take.
Hash map index
Hold on,
are the keys.
Sue. Can I finish first?
Yeah.
So I think the point VT raised is that if I have the hash map of the original values, right? In order to get the indexes, right? I need to convert all the keys to an array, which means enumerating them, right? And then what you're suggesting is keeping a second hash map with all of those enumerated values. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Okay, but anytime I insert a new number into the first hash map, right? I
Mhm.
need to re-enumerate it. Okay.
Wait, so
Yeah.
yeah, go on there.
Which means that in a language, our hash maps always guaranteed to return elements in the
order?
order in which they
No,
were
no,
added.
no.
No?
No.
So then how does this work? Because every single time I insert into the first hash map, I need to update the second hash map with the new indexes.
Hmm.
So that becomes a little problematic, right?
Sue, you have an answer for that?
Yeah, understood what he's saying.
Okay.
So why can't we use like a global size, like of the map size, right? And as in how we are like adding values to the map, the size variable increments. So we know what is the index that's going to be for any new element that's going to be added.
Why
And
would
And
we
what
know
after
the
you
index?
remove?
Ankit, the hash map in Java is not ordered.
Right. And
hash
the
map
same
is
thing
not-
for
tree
Ruby.
map is ordered. I get that. So let's say we, I'm not talking of a tree map right now, right? Like in tree map, it would have been very easy, I think.
Yeah.
But in case of hash map, let's say you have the first number 1, right? Like you're doing an insert. So if I have like a global size, just call it as size variable or something. So when we put 1, we'll increment the size and we'll put that as the
Yeah. That gives us the size, but then how do we randomly get something given the size?
Yeah, so she said, so I mean, if you have the size I told you, right? You have that rand.
yeah.
If you give
Right.
size, it'll give you a random element.
Right. It'll give us a random element, but how do we pick that random element from the dictionary?
Yeah, so for that we need the second hash map, as Sue mentioned. So which is the reverse of the first one.
Well,
So
if we had the second hash map, then that creates
Is
the
this the
problem
index?
of-
And are you saying that we have an index and a value like this in the second hash map?
Yeah. So whatever we are inserting in the first one, the reverse of that has to be inserted in the second hash map. I think hash
Right,
map
but
is
wouldn't
important
that
because
mean
we
that
have
every
an
single time we add or remove, we have to update both hash maps, and those become O
Yeah,
of n
that's another
operations?
thing. Yeah. So probably have an array or a list instead, I guess.
Okay, so let's see if we try it with a list, right? Now,
List in the sense linked list?
list or array, either one. Right?
Okay.
Oh no, array. We need the indexes. The linked list won't give us indexes.
Hmm.
So if we have the array, right? And is that going to contain indexes or is that going to contain values?
Like A of 0 is going to contain the value. 0 is the placeholder with the index.
Okay, hold on. So let's come up with an example, right? Let's say Uncle, can you write up? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So initially, when we insert 1, we put 1 in the hash map, right?
Hash map? So wait, so what is the array for?
The array is for indexes.
Okay.
Okay. So now going with the idea we have, right? The hash map, instead of storing just the value and the key, it's now going to store the value and the index.
And 0. This is what you said?
Right.
Currently, your array is 1.
Right. So now if we
It's
insert
1 and
a new
0 or
number,
0 or 1? Wait, 1 or
it's
0
gonna
or
be-
0 and 1?
it's going to be 1 and 0.
Why would you need I mean, why would you need 0 like at the value?
Well, let's say I insert a 2, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to put 2 at the end of the array, right?
Uh-huh.
So now the index of 2 in my array is 1,
Hmm. Okay.
right? And then continue forward, right?
No, my question is why are you I mean, what's the point of key and an index here? What's the point of key index here? Okay, so that you can go here and look where it is.
Right, because that also makes random a lot faster.
Okay.
If I do
Okay,
random, now I just do random against the array versus the hash map array. The hash map, the keys.
Hmm.
Okay. But there's a problem.
Wait. So you're only solving, you're only answering everything. Like Sue,
Oh,
Anil, Ankita, Vishal, are you understanding what is happening here?
I understand the rationale of having an index because insertion, when you're inserting, you can insert in any data structure, hypothetically, let's say. To provide order 1 in remove,
hold on.
How can you-
Don't get to that point.
Yeah,
That's the point I was
yeah,
just
yeah.
about to raise.
Yes,
Right
Devin
now-
was about to speak.
okay.
What we've done is we've guaranteed that insert is O of 1, right?
So
We
wait,
could
so you're
wear-
saying if we
By,
add,
by using which data structure, Devin? Hash map?
We're using the hash map to keep track of which index the number is stored in the array.
Okay,
okay,
got it.
Okay.
so your insert is O of 1 because you're appending
Right.
at the
Insert is O of 1, and
because you're
then
appending at the end of the array. Fine.
yeah. Okay. But also, what this changes is get random is now O of 1, right?
Wait, so remove. Okay, so get random is what?
O of 1.
Okay. Yeah,
Because I
because you're
have the array, I just need to get a random for the length of the array, and I'm guaranteed.
so get random will return either 0 or 1 or 2. So which will be get random, which is like equal probability, and you pick a number. Fine.
Right. And I'm using
Cool.
the hash map to make sure I don't insert duplicates into the array. If my key already exists in the hash map, don't insert it. So now insertion, that's how I guarantee insertion is unique.
Cool. Good one. Okay. So you're fine till now?
Yes, Ankur.
Okay.
Right.
So yeah. So Sue, now now if you followed, okay, now you continue now. So now you have insert O of 1, get random. What is remaining now?
Remove.
It's remove is remaining, right?
How are we gonna do remove if we have an array and a hash map?
So let's say you have 1, 2, 3, and you get a remove of remove 1.
Okay.
Yeah. So Devin is lost. So Sue, you have to help.
Yeah,
Hey,
remove.
what is the question, Ankur?
Okay,
Uh,
so we have our hash map.
Question is this one. 380 insert delete get random.
Okay.
Have you done this before?
I'm just reading through the question first, just to see if I've done that or not.
I mean, open it in your lead code because we are like
Yeah.
halfway through.
Okay,
yeah.
okay, sure.
Okay. Yeah. I'll go with this. I mean, I'll revise again for you, people who have joined just now. But right now we are trying to, so Devin and Sue and everyone, Vishal, they came up with, and Ankita, they were here. They came up with insert O of 1, get random O of 1. And now we are stuck at remove val. So how will you remove O of 1? Right now this is O of n, right? Sue?
Right.
Why is it O of n?
The array has to be updated. We have to find and remove it from the array.
Right, but that's a scan.
I think-
means that's O of n.
No, what if we reverse the mapping and the hash map?
Huh?
Instead of index to value, why can't we do value to index?
But then how do we look up a value? How do we
Looking up at the value is directly look at in a hash map and return it.
well if our hash map now contains index in the array and value, right?
All right.
Let's say I try to insert 1, right?
You insert 1, so then what
Wait,
you-
okay. Let's say initially it Ankur, can you draw the following?
yeah, Uncle, can you
0:1, 1:2,
1 colon 1.
0:1,
Hmm.
1:2,
are these?
2:3.
No, I think other way around. That's what I said.
That's what we were doing initially, value and index.
Right.
Yeah, that's
This
what
is index value.
Right. I'm saying
this?
instead of index value, we can swap this to value index.
No, that's what we were doing. See, 1, 0, 2, 1, 3, 2.
Okay.
This is value index.
Right.
Yeah, that's what we
Yes,
did
so what-
originally.
And what,
Okay.
Vishal, you're saying index value.
No. This is correct. This is what I was thinking too.
Okay. So then just, yeah, all right. Okay.
You
So
guys are so
now-
close.
So now,
So yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. So with this, the insert is order 1.
The
And
insert is order 1. The get random is order
The random
1.
is over 1.
Deletion is O of n.
deletion is not often, right?
Why
Why?
is it often?
Okay, because
You-
Why is it not often?
here's
How
the-
do
Because
you
you ha-
delete?
Hash
You
map
haven't-
is often, right?
Yeah,
no,
then
you-
how about updating the array?
yeah, because if I delete from an array, it compresses, doesn't it? Well, depending on the language.
No. Hear me out.
Hmm.
You have an underlying array. You have an index from the hash map. You will
Right.
just remove that element from the hash map as well as from the array, right? It's
Right,
order 1
but-
operation
Yeah, it's order
Which
of 1.
one?
But
From
what
array?
happens?
from array.
From array, deletion is not.
Oh, yeah.
You
Here's
have
the
an
problem.
index, right? You have
Yeah,
an index.
you had the index, but okay, let's say
Now you have a
um,
hole in the array. That's a different problem.
Yeah, so that is the problem. That is often. That is
That's
the
the
whole
problem,
is
because-
that's the problem.
it compresses, like most languages will compress
Okay.
the array, right? As soon as I
Okay.
remove something, the indexes of every
Yeah.
element get updated. Everything
Okay, I
mean-
after,
Okay. The whole is a problem. We are using
Yes.
hash map, array list, indexing, accessing certain elements is order 1. You have 1, 2, and 3. Let's say you remove 2. You know the index, right? Let's say remove comes for 2. You go into the hash map. You have an index 1, correct? Hash map told you 2 is located at index 1 in an array.
right?
I mean, when I say array in Java, I'm thinking of array list.
Okay.
Or even let's say you use array, it doesn't matter. Then you go look at the array, you have that number, you just remove that number. Now you have a hole, right?
Mhm.
What you're going to do? You don't
Mhm.
want that hole in an array.
You
Now you
compress
have
it.
in an compress it. How will you compress it in an order 1 operation, an array? What will you do?
One more question.
Yeah, sure.
What will you do? Java guys, what will what will you do?
No. There's no Java guys. There's no Python
I
guys.
think I think I have an answer, but
Wait. So Sue, you had a question?
Yeah, so remove will take order of n. Even in insert, because we are putting in hash map.
no, insert you're
Insert is at
appending
the
to
end.
the end of the array.
Okay, and what will you put the? Okay,
You put, let's say you put 4 here. You know the size, right? So you put this at the end. So you know the index. So this will you add 4,3 here.
yeah, it's not really a whole, but you are basically.
No, it's a hole when you remove. Inserting is easy because you're just adding to the end of the array.
So after a remove, if you have done insert, you are adding it to the end of the array, and then in the hash map.
No, but most languages, if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And right now 2 is at index 1. If I remove 2, everything after 2 gets shifted down.
Right.
That's
So
how most arrays work, right? So
that is
if that's how it works, doesn't that mean once everything gets shifted down, my hash map is screwed up?
right. That's the exact question I'm getting to. Like the insertion indices are all lost if I am. Because the indices that I stored against the value is not the same, and I'm removing from the array, even though I'm adding to the end. Right?
So
You
how
will
do
have
we?
to
Wait,
update.
say again. Wait. What? So what did you say? If you're appending at the end, how your index is lost?
Because the indices order, say 1, 2, 3, you have put like 0, 1, 2, and you have done remove. So now 3 took index,
Yeah.
but in the hash map you have 3 against 2. Like 3 has index 2.
Yeah, but if I move 3 from the array, I move it from the hash map also.
But then that will become order of n.
No,
Which one?
right now we're saying
I'm
for
not
this
following.
example 3, right?
When you remove 2, all the elements after 2 should have their indices updated in the hash map, right?
Right. So how do we avoid that?
But the whole itself is an issue, right? First of all, this is what we talked. The whole
Like-
is of n
Yeah, hold it.
because
No,
you'll have to like put
The
all the
whole is
elements.
O of n because everything shifts down.
Yeah, you'll have to put them all before. So if you have 1, 2, 3, you
Wait.
remove 2, 3 has to become here, right?
No, my
And if you
question
remove
is,
1,
Devan and Stu, which data structure are you saying will compress the array? Can you tell me that data structure?
Most arrays, if you look at how they're implemented, right?
Yeah, array list
If,
also.
if I remove a 2,
No, they will not move elements around
no, if I use it in Ruby and
because
C#, they'll
okay.
shift.
And at least in Java and Python, I'm 100% sure they will not do that, because at least in Java, it is array list. It is backed by an array.
Yeah, that's Java. But if you look at the majority of languages, they will shift.
They will shift, seriously?
I have a question.
Then
Yeah.
how will you index it? Like, let's say then that means your array will give you wrong answers, right? If you store and then you,
Yeah,
let's
but
say,
that means after what I think what this means in this case is after we remove something, we need to update the hash map, right?
That will become
But
order.
because we're updating the hash map, as Sue said, it becomes O of n, right? Let me just give me 1 second. I want to make sure.
Ankur, just for the benefit of others, which part are you guys discussing again? Insert and
We're-
remove is done.
We're
Just the
discussing
random.
remove.
The
You're
whole-
discussing the remove in O of 1, right?
No, right now we
Okay.
insert it
So
after the remove, basically.
I'm sorry. Come again.
Okay, hold on. Let's explain it from the beginning. That way, everyone is on the same page. Because initially, can you just go toward the bottom? Let's just draw this out again. That way, people don't get confused by everything we've already written. So we initially started off with inserting 1, inserting 2, and inserting 3, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So our hash map is going to be a key value pairing,
Pair.
right?
Yeah.
So we're storing the data in both an array and the hash map. Okay. So
Okay.
in the hash map is stored value followed by the index. Ankur draw it out.
Okay.
Followed by the index.
This one.
Yeah, that makes sense because you want to do a fast lookup, O of 1 lookup. So hash map is the right data structure
Right.
to store the value and index. Okay.
Right. So in order to keep the lookup fast, we're storing the values in an array. Okay. Otherwise, if we didn't have that array, we'd have to enumerate all the keys in the hash map. Does that make sense?
Yes, and also
Yeah,
to make
that makes
get random
sense,
O1.
but okay, but even in array, don't you have to iterate through? Oh, you're saying okay, you'll search by that index and that will give you O of 1. That's
So
right.
I
Okay.
already said usually in the question they tell you that you can use rand of n, which will
Okay.
return you a random number between 1 and like 0 and n minus 1, which is
Until-
like
Oh,
O of
got
1.
it. And that n, is it the value or the index?
Anything, just passing a number
N
9,
is the length of
you'll
the
get a
array.
number between 0 to 8.
Okay, got it.
So
Okay.
if you,
So,
I mean, that
Okay. So you guys are done with the insert part and remove, and now
No,
at
we're
the-
we're stuck
we are
on
done with
remove.
insert,
Right now we're
get
discussing
random.
remove.
So first we were done with insert and remove. We were stuck with get random because get
Okay.
random was O of n. Now we
Right.
did insert, we did get random O of n. Now we are stuck with remove.
Oh,
This
okay.
is O
So
of n.
can you just quickly iterate, because I have something in my mind. I haven't done the sum, but then I probably would want to discuss that, but not confuse also. So if you can just tell me what you guys discussed and where you are stuck, I can just say what I have in mind.
No, if you have the answer, don't, because right now we are discussing properly. We want to go till there. Like it's a
No. So that's what I said. I haven't coded it up. But then
Right. But
I-
if
Yeah,
you
then
have an
fine, go
idea as
ahead,
to
then
what
go
the
ahead. That is
answer
what we are
could be,
doing.
Go ahead.
We are discussing.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I was also going to have a map, because that's going to, and a map of the value and the indices, because that's going to help me in my lookup basically by that value by the index basically. And I was thinking of having an array list instead of an array, just so that I can access random faster. So basically what I was thinking was in the insert, basically if the index is not there, then that is in the insert, that is, if the index is not there, if that particular value is not there, then I go and have that value inserted with the index, and then I also add that to the array list. So it's basically I have an array list of all the values. Then I also have a map that maps the values to their indices.
Yes.
Okay. But
So
now
That's what
you're-
we did.
you're-
Yes.
here's where we're stuck. So
Okay, I have a question. Why array list and not array?
So I was just thinking in what will happen in get random if I have an array. So basically, so for example, let's say I have
What's the difference
let's
between
say
array and array list?
I'm sorry.
What's the difference between array and array list?
array list is an object. I think array is just a regular array. Array
Array
list
list?
provide a whole wrapper around it.
So we are not talking
Yeah.
about, see, this question is about designing a data structure. This is not about language specific or anything. So
Okay,
I don't know what
so
array
there is
list
no array list. So there is no array list. That's what we are talking about then.
Yes.
Yeah, but
No,
to,
yeah,
to-
like you said, it doesn't matter if it's array or array list, but
well,
it
it
matters.
depends
that-
on the language, because some languages will have an array list, like
Then we
C#
cannot go
and
ahead with
Java will
array
have
list.
them,
Yeah.
right? But Ruby and Python don't. So
We don't know if there's an array. In Python, there's no array list. It's just a
Right,
list.
and-
That's all. An array. That, I mean, all in Python you can do is you insert at the end, you get the index, you put in the hash map.
So in this case, since there is that hole that's created, why don't we get the last element and fill it with it and reduce the size of the list?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going with. So basically, why don't we replace so let's say in the remove, let's say if we want to remove some element, some value, then find the last inserted element's index and put whatever is there in the current place. So that way, and then we reduce the list by 1 as well. And then we can remove the same element from the map as well
yeah,
by looking up their index.
I think that's the answer. But before we get to that, VT, the question you asked about whether or not languages compress. I just verified it does, at least in Ruby. I'm pretty sure it does in Python also, unless I explicitly set an element to null for a specific index. It's going to compress.
Interesting. That's
Nice.
really interesting.
Okay.
So did everyone understand what Ankita and Coder mentioned?
Yeah.
We know we have to remove an element, right? Which means it's going to create a hole. And we also know that if we remove from the end of an array, that's a lot less costly than removing from the middle of an array, because we don't have to shift stuff, right?
Exactly.
If we know we have to remove 2, right, from 1, 2, and 3, if we flip 3 and 2, then all we have to do is update the index of 3 in the hash map and remove 2 from the hash map and the array.
So it's saying we have 1, 0, 2, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, and so on. Like 7 will be 6. And if we had to remove 1, right? If it says remove 1, what we
1.
would be doing this? We remove from the hash map. I mean, we get the index of 0. We go here, we put 7 over here. We replace this with 0. And we remove this, right? Remove from the hash map, 1. Correct?
Yep, and we'll have to reduce
Yeah.
the size of the array.
And then the list also reduces by 1.
Well, yeah, it'll get reduced. Well, it will get reduced, yeah.
Basically, we're accounting for the one element less after we remove, after we replace.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean Python, I'll just do like replace this with this, or maybe pop and put this at that index. Pop is like in Python it is over 1, like removing from
Yeah.
here. Internally, I mean the whatever garbage collector is there or compile is there to take care of removing. So yeah, so that's. So did you get the answer?
Yes, Ankur, understood.
Okay, so who else? Srinivas, I know you did you understand? Just join.
I think just now I joined. No.
okay.
I mean, anyway, I'm recording, so I'll put up the stuff. So maybe you'll see and you'll understand. Okay. So now we have the insert
It O of 1.
in O of 1. We have
Deleted O of 1. And get random at O of 1.
so before this, I just want to I hope, I mean,
The initial solution had insert as O of 1, get random as O of n, and remove it O of 1.
so Deven, would you have, so right, I mean, before Ankita gave the answer, so so we always stuck, right? Deven, Sue, Vishal, so we were stuck at creating the whole, right? So would you have come up with the answer of replacing this one? Deven,
Yeah,
you went, I
because
mean,
I was thinking about, all right, it's easier to remove from the endings array than from a whole, right? That's one way of doing it, right? Another way of doing it is forcibly nulling out that whole, right? Keeping it there, but nulling it out and removing it from the map. It still would work. But your array
nulling
would
out
get
from the array.
polluted.
Yes.
No,
Yeah, I mean, you'll have
nulling it out wouldn't
garbage
work.
values between.
I can't null it
You'll have
out
garbage
because
values.
I'd have garbage values.
Yes.
I
yes.
have a question in how is get random order of 1 now?
Okay, get
Big-
random is order of 1 now because I have a hash map and an array, right?
And your hash map is a
be-
value index based map and your array is all the values.
Right, because my array is all the
Yes.
values, right?
Right.
Can't I randomly get
So
an index
basically,
Can I randomly get an index from the array?
Any random.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait, Coder, wait. Let Devin finish. 1 second.
Given that I have the array, right, that contains all of my values, getting a random index is O of 1, right? Retrieving that value is O of 1 from the array because I'm just randomly getting an index. If I had to do it from the hash map, I'd have to enumerate all the keys.
No, get random will give an index of a number.
And then
And
nums
then
Get
of
if I
random
index
will
you'll get.
give you the value at at the index of a random number, I think.
I see.
Yeah, so that becomes
What?
O of 1.
Okay, that makes sense why we are storing only distinct elements. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically,
So
we are
you
just returning by any random index that we get out of getRand in from the array, and then that will be O of 1 because that's just like looking up by index in the array.
Got it. So there is map is not playing a role in get random. It's
Yes.
just
No, the map
It's
isn't playing
just
a
the
role in
array.
get random. The map
Yeah.
is playing a role in insert and remove,
Mhm.
especially in insert to make sure you don't get duplicate. Remember, it's a set, so you
Right.
cannot have duplicate. If I were just using an array, this would fail. Well, I'd have to scan the array for the element, which means
Map also
Here-
plays a role in remove.
yes, it does because we're using
Yeah.
it to
Yeah.
insert, delete, get random duplicates allowed. Why? That's not fair.
What happened? No, I'm not going to do this question.
Oh, okay.
Unless you guys specially ask, or maybe if we have time, we might go into
No,
that. but-
post it in the Discord.
What is this
yeah, no
again?
hard problem. No, that's randoms allowed. Duplicates allowed. Sorry, not random, duplicates allowed. 381.
In our version, it's a set, right? Set
Okay.
doesn't allow duplicate. In this question, it's a follow on to the question we just did. This question allows for duplicate,
What do you mean by duplicates? Come again?
meaning a set doesn't allow you to have duplicate numbers, right?
Right.
An array will allow you to have duplicate numbers, right?
Yeah.
So in this case, instead of creating a random set, we're creating a random collection, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that collection can have duplicate numbers.
Oh,
So
okay.
if I do 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right?
Okay.
My collection will have 2 ones.
Right.
Versus if I was using my set, it would only have 1 of each number.
But Devin, you can store number and the count, right?
Don't talk
I mean,
about
I
it.
don't know. I mean, no.
I
But yeah,
think
I mean,
this-
Devin,
So that also means there's equally likely probability of choosing the first duplicate or the second or whichever. Basically, every number has same probability.
basically it's the size of the total length of your storage space.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, I mean,
Interesting.
Devin, the way you approached the question, you solved it and ended it. It was like, I mean, I loved it. Brilliant.
Okay.
I mean, it was brilliant. Right? I mean,
Maybe we
It's just
should
we
then
had to
do
go
the
from one.
hard.
We figured out one
Let's
way,
do the
then we had to
hard
optimize
also.
it.
no hard, because it'll take a lot of time. Maybe it'll be a homework problem for you guys. Then we'll discuss it maybe tomorrow. right? And no, yeah, I mean, if we do it now,
No,
I mean, I
now
don't
it'll
know,
take a while.
it'll take a lot of time.
Yeah, I agree. But the reason why I just said we can try to discuss that, if not spend a lot of time, is because it's very similar to this. And so we can just discuss possible
Well,
approaches.
we've discussed this one, so let's see what people come up with the second one. I don't want to discuss the second one without having people try it.
Yes.
Right.
This one provides the basic. It gives you a good idea of what to do first.
Yeah.
I
Right?
think that is what we also did the same thing with buy and sell stock 1, then 2, then we got stuck with 3. Everyone tried, failed, and then we
Right.
had a session again,
Nice.
right?
Okay.
And we knew that there was no intuition in the hard problem. Like they were trick in that. So hard problems are going to have tricks. There's no point
Right.
in like even discussing,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
I mean, we'll discuss if there is time because we have like 2 more questions and we are already 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
So let's do.
And
word-
also,
yeah.
word, we'll do both
Subset.
anyway, right?
I
What
like
is the
the
next
word
question?
subset one. I think it'll be faster than spiral matrix.
Then we'll
What
do
is
spiral
the? Yeah. Can you just? I'm sorry, I didn't catch up on the thread. So is this the question?
Yes, and people who know the answer, they should keep quiet.
What is the question again? 1 second.
Spiral
Can you go a little
Spiral
slow?
matrix.
Given an M cross N matrix, return all elements of matrix in the spiral order. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, basically, even if you know the answer, it's fine. I mean, it's fine. We'll approach this one. And it's like, I always forget how to do this one.
Oh, so basically you go from outside to inside. So basically you just spiral and print all the elements in spiral order. Is that the question?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I think, I mean, on IC, Harsh has given some technique for that, which I always forget. So that is why I took this question. Because how will you solve this if you forgot that?
Or if you don't know it.
I don't even.
What?
Yes.
Harsh is given
What
this
if you don't know?
technique in arrays and matrices.
Yes, I think so. I think
Oh,
he has.
okay.
I think special 2D.
Special tricks
array or
1 and
something.
2.
Okay.
Yes.
What is the technique you guys talking about?
There's
I
no
think in-
technique. We don't know how to solve this. Like, let's solve
Yeah.
this.
So one way I can think of is, why not so we know that it has to go through like the first row and the last column, right? The problem comes
Yes.
only after so basically let's start off with a simple 2 cross 2. In a 2 cross 2 matrix, there are only 4 elements. So that means the first row, last column, and then the last but before. So basically there's just one more element that you count. So technically that means that the first row and last column gets into the list as is, no matter what's the size of the no matter what the size of the matrix is. So the
Wait.
issue.
Wait 1 second. So everyone has understood the question? Any doubts? Srinivas, Sue,
Yeah.
Ankita?
Yeah.
Sue. So yeah. So anyone wants to attempt this beside Coder? Has any ideas? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, like you have an array and you have to go this array 1, 6, 9, 4, 5. Similarly for this one, you have to go right, then down, then left, then up. So basically it's like 4 directions. You go right,
Yeah.
down, left, up, then right, down, left, right, this until you go till the middle of the matrix. Right? Okay. So yeah. So now go ahead, Coder, if no one else wants to try this.
Okay. So basically, the first row, last. So the fact of the matter is the first row, last column, last row, first column. It's going to be in the list as is. The newness.
So which you're saying 1 and 4 is going to be?
No. 1 and 2 forms the first row. 1, 2. So basically your iteration order will be first row, 1, 2. And since you've already counted 2 as part of the first row, you can't obviously recount it. So your column processing will start only after, basically it will start from index 1. So that means you're processing only 4 from the first column into your output list, because you can't recount 2, even though it's part of the first column. I mean, last column. So basically what I'm trying to say is the first row, last column, last row, first column, we print it as is, because that's the first order that follows. Just
Okay,
before
hold on. That does,
Yeah.
okay. I think it's like explanation a little confusing. Can you try to?
Yeah. Let me break it down. I think, yeah, it could be confusing if I'm like just speaking
So if
out
we have
loud.
1, 2, 3, 4, we know we're
Yeah,
starting
so
at 1.
basically,
We go
let's say-
clockwise,
yeah.
right?
Correct. So let's go row wise. Let's go, let's go column wise in the first row. So let's say 1 and 2 we process, and after that we go to the last column. So basically we don't process 2 because it's already counted as part of the first row. And so the next element in the last column
So,
is 4.
Coder, so have you solved this question before?
No, I haven't solved this question. I don't see it in my solved questions also. So I'm just attempting. So
okay.
I could be
Okay.
wrong. So you guys have to correct me.
Yeah,
if
if
I'm
you're
wrong.
attempting with the first time, because even I mean that is what. So I mean, explain your intuition here.
Yeah.
we
So that's
all
what. So
understand that.
my intuition is this. Basically, what I'm trying to say is so I process all elements in the first row, last column, last row.
First.
After I finish the last row, now there is a possibility.
Wait, go slow.
What
Go
do you
very
mean by
slow.
last row? You process everything in the
Go very
first
slow.
column. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
Okay, let's do one thing. Let's take that first example. No, I think that will be a best example to
Okay,
to
so-
sort of write it down instead of a 2x2, because there is no inner spiral there. It's simple here. So if we can take like a 3x3.
Right. So we process the first column, the first
Yeah,
row.
we process
right?
the first column,
No,
first
we
row.
process the first row, not the first column.
That's
First
right. We
column is
process the
this.
first. We process the first row first, which is
So we get 1,
2,
2, 3. Okay.
Correct.
All
And
right.
then we go to the last column. So basically, let's say I have
Wait. Do you mean go to the last column, or do we from where we
Last
are
column.
at 3, we go down to the last column?
exactly. So I finish 1, 2, 3, and then I go along 3 and finish the last
Okay.
column.
So if for row I hit the boundary, right?
Mhm. So I have to ensure that obviously when I get an input, I'll first ensure that I take the row count and the column count. So I know, right, what's the boundary limits for me. So basically I'll process from, let's say the first row I'm processing, I'll process by saying that with static 0 as being the row, because the row is the first row, but the
Right.
column will be from 0 to the column length -1, whatever. So basically I just process through all the elements in the first row across all columns, which is 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
But in the
so
next processing,
Wait, and how is your answer? So wait, you do this, then okay.
Mhm.
Let's say you here. What do you do then now?
now my column count will start from 8 because I have already processed 9, right? I don't want to
You start from
recount
8.
9. No, I'll
Wait,
basically
so how did
go
you come up with
backwards.
this?
I'll go backwards because I know that I've already reached the size, right? So basically it's like saying the first row, I know that I'll process regularly from 0 to whatever the length. And then I know that I hit the length already. So I know the order in which the output should be. So I'm just going to basically, the iteration will be in such a way that I process the elements in the order that I want.
Wait. Can you like in words? Can you tell me your logic here?
That's still a little unclear to me. So
Can you So,
So
give your
my logic
solution in words.
is, I'll tell you where my logic is will come. So the first row, last column, and basically up until the
First
last
row,
row,
last column.
first row, that is 1, 2, 3, the last column, which is 6, 9, and then the last row, which is 8, 7 in the reverse order.
So you're
These things
saying
I'll process as
if I hit a boundary, right?
Uh-huh.
Depending on if my boundary is at the max column, right?
Mhm.
Or the max row, I go down or left.
Exactly. Depending on whether I hit the boundary or not, I will have my iteration in such a way that I'll process. Like for example, let's say my row processing starts from 0. So then I know that I'll have to go through all rows. When my column processing starts from the boundary, then I know that it has to go backwards, right? Because there's no more to go. So basically I'm just manipulate. So at least the first row, last column, last row, till that there's no logic as opposed to just iterating until I reach the boundary.
My direction in the first row, my direction is 1, 0, right?
Correct.
I'm incrementing the row by 1, 0. Okay, that
Mhm.
means I'm going right. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and the
Wait,
second,
I'm lost. Is anyone else lost?
I'm lost also. I'm just trying to take what she's saying and put it into words.
I think I understood what Kodri is saying. If I can rephrase it, can I rephrase it?
Go for
Yeah,
it.
yeah, sure. Go for it.
Sure. See, from this problem, let's say if we solve the outer ring, right? We can assume, we can see this as a ring, and that ring has the dimensions. So and then what Kodri is saying is go through the ring first, and then try to recurse the smaller rings as you go inside. And
How do you define the boundaries of the ring?
yeah,
Yeah.
the boundaries of the ring would be the recurse function will take in the boundaries of the ring at each level.
I mean,
Correct.
for the first ring, it's easy, right?
For the first string, it's easy
Zero,
because we
zero.
at least know, we already know the boundaries. The
Right.
only
So
from
how
the
do we
inner
determine
ring.
the boundaries of the second ring?
That would be -1,
So basically, you know that we've already processed the outside boundaries. So the inner boundary will be just shrunk by 1. So the row
actually
will
shrunk
start.
by 2.
Yeah, shrunk by
because-
2 in total. That's
Yeah,
right.
2 rows is shrunk and 2 columns are shrunk.
Correct.
So yeah, once we have those bounding conditions, we will just stay within the boundary when we are
Yeah,
going from one element to another element and finish the recursion.
exactly. I think, oh my God, who is this? Like, you paraphrased it just right.
He is Avinash.
Yeah,
Avinash. Hi, Avinash.
hi.
So can we take a 4x4 matrix maybe? Then we will have
I just wrote it down.
Correct. Yeah, I just didn't see it.
Yes. So Sue, did you understand? Ankita, Srinivas, Anil.
Yes.
Makes some sense. Okay.
I didn't. I know that solution. I've read that before. I hate that solution. I hate this question.
That's
I
the
wish I
question
never get
was
this question.
about to ask. It just seemed a little.
Yeah, I
weird.
hate this
First
question
try.
too.
We're not
I-
doing clockwise, right? This is just.
But
hey,
this is
process.
but don't you think this is very self-intuitive to even attempt like this? Like, I would naturally think like that. There's no other way I would naturally think. Because
Well, if I draw a
what's the
spiral,
order,
right? I'm setting
Yeah.
boundaries for the spiral versus doing it, chunking it up into groups.
So
right?
so before saying anything, so basically I hate this question. I've prayed that I never got this question in my on-sites, but I got this. Unfortunately, I was asked this in 6th Sense, my on-site. That interviewer, this was like 2 years back. He initially worked at Airbnb, right? So he was literally a millionaire. He asked me this question. I couldn't answer it. So he gave me a very simple solution. Like, so simple solution that it like blew my mind. All he was worried about, can I code that up? And it was like, I solved it, right? So that is what, it was so simple. So should I go with this, or do you guys still want to talk?
Why do you explain it?
Huh?
Yeah, you can go, Ankit.
Okay. I don't remember. I didn't even think about this today. So, I'm still trying to figure that what he said. And we guys have to come up with the answer. Okay. Let's say you're standing at 1. You're a person, right? And you're standing
Okay.
at 1. What will you do? You're a person.
You
You're
would
standing at
walk
1.
straight. You would walk straight.
Wait, straight meaning
You
right,
go
left,
straight.
right, down.
As
Okay.
in, if I was standing at 1, then I would walk straight because 1 is my column.
Yeah. And
But how do you
straight
determine which
straight
direction?
meaning. Yeah. So
Straight
you have 4
meaning- so
directions.
basically, let's say I'm standing at 1 facing 2.
Wait, but how do you determine the direction? That's what I'm saying.
Column start
Yeah, 1
with-
second. I'll just come from the washroom. So you guys discuss.
What was your question again, David?
The question is, if I start at 1, right?
Uh-huh.
I potentially have 4 directions I can go. I can go right, I
Right,
can go down, I
right.
can go left, I
Yeah.
can go up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Given that I'm standing at 1,
Yeah.
how do I figure out which way to walk?
So when you're at 1, you know that you're at the 0th element, basically 0th index, 0th column, and that's the first element you will start processing in the matrix, right?
Is there another way of saying that?
Mm,
And based on the index, actually, if the index is in the 0, 1, 2 in the direction.
Based
it
on
will-
the
Yeah.
row index or based on the column index, that
so
determines my
basically, if
direction, right?
so basically, if I have, like, for example, if I'm at an index where, and for example, if in this case, let's say if I'm standing at 1, I know that I have, and I'm at the first, basically I can go two ways. I can, in this case specifically, because I know the output should have the first row
You don't
in
know
that
if the,
order.
Wait. Let me. I'm back. So let me remove the confusion. So there are only 4 directions, right? Right, down, left, or up, and it is always in this direction.
Yeah.
Once I am done with up, I go right, I go down, I go to my left, I go up. What is the next direction?
you go right, down, left, up.
Again, right.
Same
Again,
thing. Yeah. Down.
same thing. So
But the
now I have my
order is
directions.
always the same.
Yeah.
Order
As
all-
soon as I
are
finish
the
going
same?
right, I go down. As soon as I finish going down, I go left. As soon as I finish going left, I go up.
Yeah. So there you're
Right.
pre-processing what directions you'll go one after, right? Like one
Yes,
after
and
the
what-
other.
Yes. And one more thing, what as I'm going, so I'm a person, I'm just walking down my path. As soon as I reach the corner, I put a flag. I've already visited this. I've gone down, visited in the sense I changed this 3 to some other, I make it maybe -3 or put something. Now I go, I change my direction. I go down. I know after right, I have to go down. I go down.
Right.
Okay, let's say I'm in this matrix. I go 4, I put some flag here. I go down.
Right.
Put some flag here. I've reached my end. I change my direction. I change my direction. I put a flag here. I go up, right? I cannot go beyond this because I've been here. So there's a flag. Now I go right based on the directions. I go right. I cannot go beyond 7. I have to stop here. I go down. I change my direction. I go left. I go up. That's all done.
Yeah, but how is this simple? Like it's the same
It's
as
simple because you don't have to do any weird math in order to figure out which way to go. You already know which way you go next. You know, if I'm going right now.
So you are
Yes,
mentioning
Srinivas.
the flags, right? So you are mentioning the 4 flags actually are the same flag.
No,
you are
it's not a
changing.
flag. If I just change the, okay, if I'm at every element I visit, I flip it to a pound sign, right? I visit one, I put it in my output.
So basically, you're saying only the when you hit the boundary, and you have finished that particular row or column or whatever, then you
I change my
flag it.
direction.
No,
You change
no.
your direction, and you
can-
also call that as visited, so that you don't revisit that when you're going back. Like basically, when you're recursing into the, you don't want to revisit
to-
the same elements, right? So that's
Yes.
the whole point of the flag in the corners.
Yes.
How else are you going to keep track
Corners
of
or
it?
you
either need
you
to-
keep a flag everywhere
Yeah,
you
you
visit.
can do it to every element you visit. As you visit an element, flip it.
And
okay.
flipping it and you're putting it in your result.
Just change it to -1. Okay. Put it in your result and change it to -1. So that way, whatever direction you're going, if the next element you're looking at is a -1, change direction.
Okay. So then so you're starting off with, let's say, direction equals 1 or whatever.
Right. Direction is right.
And then
okay.
Okay.
So now
and then
I get
okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Then I hit
Right.
out of bound. Right. I can't go right anymore. Now I go down. So I get 7, 11, 15. Right. I hit out of bound. Right. Remember, as I'm visiting everything, I turn it to -1. Okay. So I hit
-1
15.
or whatever. You ask your interviewer, can I have negative numbers? If you can have negative numbers, you cannot put -1.
Okay. If I
have to put something else.
change to a pound sign. Okay.
Something that is unique. That is not
Yeah.
present.
Just change it to a pound sign. All right. Then
Okay.
from 15, I know I hit a boundary. So I go left. So I get 14, 13, 12. I hit another boundary. So I know I go right. Up, sorry. So I
So
hit
they all become
8,
hash.
4. Because 1 is already a pound, I know I visited it, right? So I treat that the same way I treat a boundary. Okay. So now I go right again.
Yeah, it's
And I know
nice.
my
It's-
directions, right? D, L, U.
Yeah, I understood what you're. Yeah, it's a nice solution. But I honestly would feel I would not think of it on my own. Like it doesn't come to me
Oh, it's a
easily.
loop.
I know. I mean,
It's a spiral. So it's actually, that's intuitive.
Yeah.
I mean, that is what I would also think. I go 1, 2, 3. I've already seen it. Now I go down. I change my direction. I go left. I go up. Yeah, I mean, intuitive, you won't get that. I mean, I don't know intuitively how even if I go with your solution, I couldn't even understand that. I mean, it depends what clicks to you. So when I did this, see, your interviews are not at all necessary. See, they are not for them. If you're not able to solve that, it's fine. What they'll worry about is they'll mention they'll give you a hint. They'll tell you the thing. They'll figure out. See, they still have to test you, right?
Yeah.
What they'll try to figure out is, did the candidate understand now? If he has understood, can he code it up? And if you can do that, you're still a pass at the interview.
Right.
And that happens in every interview. I mean, that is like told to every interviewer that this is the template. Like if you have to give an hint to the interviewee, sorry. So I mean, this solution was like so simple. I did this, I coded it up.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it this way, right, you can do counterclockwise extremely easily also.
Yeah, and then the weird things that on IC someone has mentioned on Geeks on Geeks, you don't even have to worry about that. Like I hate those things. And if you know this one, like now you will love to solve this. Go ahead, solve this, send the answer tomorrow. Then we'll go into more spiral questions.
Yeah, let's do that.
We're not going to solve this because our aim is to solve this question on the first attempt or 2 attempts. Otherwise, even if you write a test case, you won't be able to understand are my edge cases passing or not. You are bound to get this wrong on your on-site, on your whiteboard. So why not go with the simplest, most intuitive answer? Let it use more space, more time, but at least you're getting your answer right? That was the brilliance of that.
Because if you're breaking it up into groups, right? How do you figure out where a group starts, where a group ends? You have to run that calculation every single time.
No, so that's what I wish I can write on this whatever platform that you guys have. I'm looking at it from my phone. So that math that you're talking about is actually not math. Like there's no calculation or anything. It's basically trying to define boundaries, but to each their own. Like whatever.
You have to calculate the boundary, right?
Yeah, but then you do like if I can just write it down like on a piece of paper, probably it'll be easy for me to explain it to you that it's super intuitive as you like start processing the array. Like for example.
So Devin, so it depends. Like if like coder she thinks that answer she can code it up. She can do it. But
okay.
It depends upon what the interview wants to write. Right?
But that approach seems tricky to me, right? In the sense,
even I have tried it many times and I couldn't ever code that up in the first or 2 attempts. Like
that's
even
why
coding that.
How do I figure out the boundary? That's where I'm getting stuck mentally, right? Mentally, I have a block right now. Right, down, left, right makes sense because I'm walking, right?
So this is also
grouping it up.
This is actually, to be very honest, this is also exactly what Ankur said, but slightly looking at it differently. Meaning, we know rows and columns, right? All we are doing is defining the start point, end point for the row, start column, end column for the columns. That's it. So we are defining those 4 edges as we go into the spiral, so that we know what we want to process and what we don't want to process because it's already processed again.
So coder, so Devin, let's do one thing. We figure out both the solutions. Let's both let all of them solve both these styles, and let's put the solution to on our group.
Okay, all right.
We'll try both. We'll see what was easier, what was not. We'll try both. Like right now, we don't have an option. Like we'll solve both and let's see which is easier, which is not.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. Next question.
One advantage with not using recursion is that it doesn't lead to Stack Overflow errors when the data set is pretty huge.
If the array is massive, then
then I think the using like Ankur's method, where we use some visited.
Ankur's method is iterative. It's OFN. You did everything once.
No, this is what I'm saying. At least when I in my head thought of it, it's not recursion. It is also OFN. I can do it the non-recursive way. So
Okay.
the worst case complexity would be the matrix size.
Yes.
Oh,
So
then
Avinash, the
m
main
times n. So
yes, but Avinash, the main challenge here is coding, not time complexity. I mean, coder solution also is like O of n. She's visiting every element only once.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
so it's the same
but the
for
main
both,
challenge is
but it's
coding.
just which one's easier to code.
Actually, I was not even like both are O of n, that I understand, but
Yes.
it is possible, like if I thought in terms of recursion, if it is recursion, there is always a danger of
Yes,
Um,
yes.
Yeah,
Stack
but-
Overflow, yes.
but
Yeah.
The
No. You can do
discussions,
it without
the
recursion.
solutions we talked about aren't recursive.
Yeah. So let's first of all, so has everyone understood both the solutions or any solution? Vishal, now would you love to solve that question, this question now, since you hated it before?
Which one? The spiral?
Yes. Did you hear the solutions?
I heard your solution and I know that pinch solution. Pinch means like -2 because you're pinching the array inside, right? You're just squeezing that. I call that. I know that solution, but updating the boundary condition is also something that one can use.
So
I've solved this
Sue,
question.
Ankita. Yeah. Yes, and it's a pretty. It's like 54, right? I think it's a pretty basic. Like it's asked.
Yeah, but I definitely hate this. Like, I actually hate this question.
You
too.
hate this? That's two of
Yes,
you.
everyone hates this. So that is why I wanted to share this question also. Because I wanted to share that technique. I mean, I also wanted to show that if you're not able to solve, that's fine. Talk with the interviewer, he might give you hints. He might give, and that is absolutely required because otherwise 45 minutes, what will he do? Yeah, and coding, still time management, still being able to understand the solution, that is also a point. That will give you a lot of points. Right?
The reason I
So-
hate this is not just because it doesn't. Like, what can you understand by giving this
Yeah.
question about a
Yeah,
candidate?
even I feel so. It's a useless question as a like it's just a processing question. Like
Yeah, but if you
It's
look
like
at how
the
much
pattern.
It's just like you're
acts.
exactly. You're just
But-
cornering
yeah,
a
there's no
person,
real
nothing
value
else.
to.
yeah, but I was
Correct.
asked,
That's
and if it is asked, you have to solve it. It's like you have
I
to solve it.
agree.
I was
This
asked.
is like
at
one
the
of
same
those
stage.
questions which are actually of no sense in the larger, like
Yeah,
basically in the big
I think
picture. Like it's very.
yes, I think that is what the interviewer also wanted to check in mind. Like, okay, I know a candidate won't be able to solve it. Let's give him the approach. Let's see, can he code it? So that's what. So I gave you the approach. That is all what the interviewer also gave me. And now it's up to you guys to solve it. If you're able to solve it, good, like positive points. If not, then that means that's a reject. And that is all he told me. You close your eyes, you go up, you put a flag, you go down, you go right, you go up, and you have directions. They're always on the same order. Like you can use, I think there's also one more thing you can use percent. I remember percent, using a percent based on my percent, like getting the remainder. Based on the remainder, you can figure out what direction to use. That was also, I just remembered that. This was also something I used. And he was happy with the solution. Right. So tomorrow, make sure you, I mean, even for get random, we have not done the solution, right? So please, let's try to code this one. It's going to be very easy now. Spiral matrix. And so first of all, Sue, are you still here?
Yes, Ankur.
So any doubts on this question?
No, understood. Trying
Spiral.
to parallelly.
Actually, thanks, Ankur. Actually, this question I hate. Actually, now you got some idea, right? Yeah. No, I.
So try it. Send the solutions to me. Otherwise, if you don't, you will always hate this question. And definitely, the thing you hate the most, it will definitely show up. It'll definitely show up. It happens in exams also. The thing that you have not studied is definitely going to come in the exam. So that's a generalized rule. God also loves it. He'll do that. Right? So now this question, we'll go to the next, which is word subsets. Maybe probably the last question. I also thought of taking Dijkstra's today, but since we have like spent a lot of time in these two questions, so maybe we'll go into word subsets because Devin, I mean, he said it's a very good question. So we'll do this one. So Devin, do you want to go ahead and explain the question because it has a lot of wordings?
So yeah, this question is a little weird to get. So initially we're given two arrays, A and B, both contain words, right? Each word is a string of lowercase letters. Okay. So now
This one, right? We'll go with Amazon, Apple.
yeah, we'll go with this example.
Okay, I'll
So
write.
now say that a word B is a subset of word A, right? If every letter in B occurs in A, including multiplicity, meaning if I have like for warrior, for B, if I have WRR, right? That means I'm looking for 2 R's in my word in A, right? So in this case, WRR is a subset of warrior. because-
Right.
Right. But it's not a subset of world because world only had 1 R, but warrior has 3 R's, right?
So, Devin, one quick question.
Okay.
Does RRW count as a subset, or is the order important? Meaning,
The order is not important.
okay.
It as long as the word contains the same number of characters, same number of entries. So
Mhm.
W
So would
Same or more.
WLD be answer for this for world?
WLD would work for world, but it wouldn't work for warrior.
Okay.
Okay, got it. Okay, so
it
basically
has to
the
be a subset.
characters.
If I
Not
put
subset, basically a
WO,
subsequence.
right? If I put WO, then it would work for world and warrior.
Yeah. W. Okay.
Okay, got it.
WO
So
or
basically,
WR.
if I were to paraphrase this, every character should have been present in the words, not necessarily in the order,
Right,
in the same order. Okay,
right. But
Why not same
all-
order?
not necessarily in the
It's
same
not
order.
the
is
same
what I-
order. It doesn't need to be in the same
Wait.
order.
WRR,
Yes.
right?
If I
It's just-
RRW is also a subset, is what he's saying.
So it's
Yeah.
just the presence of the
The
character.
character,
right,
The
it's
order doesn't
character
matter at
present.
all.
right?
Okay.
Nice. Okay. So what do you?
Okay,
So
if every letter
finally,
is
what
in-
should you return?
Hold on. There's a bit more. Now say a word A from the first set. We're calling it universal
Mhm.
if for every word in B is a subset of A, which means that every single word in B needs to be a subset of a word in A in order for it to be in the output.
Every word in B has to be.
A subset of a word in A for A to count.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, so basically, you're saying, let's say if there are 2 words, word 1 and word 2, and let's say like we have to figure out if word 2 is universal or not. Like basically, word 2 has word 1 or not.
We're defining universal as every word in word 2 is contained in a word in word A.
So I
Okay,
think look
got
at the example 3rd, 4th, and 5th. I think that'll make.
Okay.
Third,
Yeah,
fourth, and fifth,
O,
you have E and OO, right?
So by
E and O.
default, Amazon will
E-O-O.
not be.
E-O.
Amazon does not count because it
Yeah.
doesn't have 2 O's. right?
Yes.
And it doesn't have an E. So it failed both
So
conditions.
it needs to have E also and O also.
Right.
And
that
lead
word
code
to make
wouldn't
it
count
universal.
because it has no double O's.
Right. It doesn't have 2 O's. Remember, the order doesn't matter. The fact that it needs to have 2 O's, right?
Got it.
Oh,
2
and
zeros. Oh, yes, O's.
LO. Okay, so LO is present in the Google because it's opposite.
Right.
The order is, and LO
But
is
just
also
the
present
character
here.
presence. Just the character presence is what
Yeah,
they're
the character presence is what we are verifying. So
asking. Right.
Google contained L and O, right? Elite code contained L and O. Google also contained E and O. Elite code contained D and O. So they're both a match. But if you look at the example above, Facebook contained E and O, but it doesn't contain L and O. So it's not a match.
Got it.
Apple doesn't contain an O, so it's not a match for either.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. So this is like a
It's-
hash map kind of count.
Hash
Problem.
set instead. Yeah.
Not set, but map, right? Because if WRR,
no.
then it has to have 2 R's.
I'd rather use a set to exactly. Correct. Yeah. Hash map, if you're looking at it as the character counts and then mapping whether the counts in the word 2
So
matches.
So Devin, so this is type of question. I think we should try it on our own. Like,
It's
is
a
there,
fun
is there
little
discussion
question.
involved here? Yeah. So we should be. I think I would like to solve this first, right? Instead of hearing people say what the answer is.
Okay, I just
Is it
have one word of
something like that?
advice. What people may think the answer may actually be the answer. You know how sometimes you get a question and you write it up and you're like, what the hell did I just write?
So I think we'll solve it. We'll
solve
and if
it
there's a
and
problem,
don't look at the solution.
look at the solution.
No,
And
no,
we'll talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it
don't look at
tomorrow.
the solution. Let's look at the
Okay.
solution tomorrow together.
Yeah, yeah.
That is so the theme of these sessions are how do you solve a question without even knowing, like from intuitions. Like, I mean, there are some questions where there's no intuition. There's some questions are like very hard, right? There's no
stock
intuition
questions.
built in. Yes, I mean, for example, that buy and sell stock 3 we did. There was some intuition, but it's difficult to do it from left and right. But yeah, so we'll do it from basics, solve this, write test cases, then we'll come tomorrow. We'll discuss this question again, right?
Okay.
Right, everyone. Maybe we can do this today itself.
Okay,
Just
but
after
do
this session,
people
we
think
just
that this is an interesting question or no?
interested.
It
I want to solve
doesn't,
it
it
now.
doesn't look tricky, but like you said, maybe there might be issues after we compile the code, or maybe there are some edge cases, something,
Yeah.
I
It
haven't
looks
solved it.
fun.
Yeah.
Don't take off the fun by discussing it right now. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
I would want to solve this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I discussed it with
And then-
another group this morning. It took us a good hour to just word
Mm.
it out and then write it because we were just thinking about all the edge cases.
Nice.
But
So
Okay.
it's
I think
fun.
so. I think we have 3 questions, good questions for as a homework now. Insert, delete, get random. Once that is done, we'll discuss about the duplicate one also tomorrow. If we all think it's a good question, something that can be discussed. There are no tricks in that. Then and this one. Tomorrow should we do Dexter's or today?
Why don't we
Uh,
do Dijkstra's today if everyone's okay with it?
I
let's
didn't even prepare.
go through these. Let's go through these questions and talk about them tomorrow. Depending on how much time we have left, we can start Dijkstra, but Dijkstra needs a full session, right? So if we're
think-
spending a fair amount of time discussing the solutions tomorrow, then can we do Dijkstra Wednesday?
Or we can do Dexter's tomorrow itself.
If we
mean-
don't spend a lot of time discussing
Yes,
the
yes,
solution,
yes, yes.
because we're also discussing insert deletion with duplicates.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I think we can ignore duplicates because the chance of duplicates coming is like very rare. So we don't even have to worry about that. So let's just solve this insert vast spiral
Pull up
matrix word
duplicates and
subsets.
see how many companies ask it. I just want to make sure we're not.
And okay, so and this is wait.
that's
If the
median
number is
one.
above 500, just forget about this. it won't be
You
hard.
never know, because look at.
Oh, the 381.
Yeah, scroll down.
No, we can do this one. Then let's start. Let's discuss this
Yeah,
only
but
then,
look,
instead of
go to
Dexter's.
go to word subsets, right? That what's the problem there? A number there, 916. But go to companies being asked, right?
I think anyway.
Is this even true? Can I ask one really dumb question? Is this
No one
even
knows
true
about
that
it.
I see some questions tagged by companies, but then we know that, like, for example, Google and all doesn't ask from lead code, right?
Yeah, but that changes over time, right?
Oh,
mean,
so you're saying
initially-
381 was
Think
something
about it.
which
Initially,
was-
when leak code first got created, people would dump problems here from their interviews, right?
right.
But then as companies got more and more aware of it, they either are fine with people using leak code because of how big the problem base is, or they started modifying whatever the problems are in order to act similar types of problems, but
Yeah.
different. So Google is starting to do the similar type of problems, but the underlying basis is the same, right? Facebook, on the other hand, if I understand, wants you to go through like the first 200 or 400 questions out of a call. And they tend to
I'm
draw
sorry,
from
what
those.
again, Devin? What did you just say?
Facebook
Yeah.
tends to draw from the first 200 to 400 questions, I think. I don't
Okay.
recall the exact number. So they want
So
people-
just another question that I had. So I believe there are some company based some workbooks, right? Like I see top
yeah, they're a
interview
company-based
que-
workbook. That way
Right.
they base it on the frequency, right?
Oh, okay.
How often they're asked at those
So
companies.
probably
they-
they might be the subset of top interview questions from, let's say, X company or Y company or whatever.
If
So
you
it
go to
could-
problems and then you
Yeah.
sort by frequency, you can get a list of the most recently
Right.
asked questions, right?
Okay.
At the bigger companies, they probably work from the bigger problem base. At medium level companies, they don't go that crazy, right?
Right.
I just had like when I was doing interviewed, I had a set of like 10 questions I asked from, right? And I didn't do
So
anything
for
crazy.
so David, the reason why I'm asking this is I just wanted to know what's the effective strategy to questions, and it's definitely hard to obviously even like to be very honest, I'm only targeting like 100 questions, but then doing them properly, like just
Right, but
knowing exactly what to
here's a
do.
better approach rather than targeting questions,
Hmm.
because that leads you into a mindset of, oh, I know these 100 or 200 questions really well. If I get them, fine. If I don't get them, I'm screwed, right? Versus, okay, I know the underlying concept behind these questions,
Right.
and if I know them well, then I can deal
So
with any of those types of questions relatively with confidence versus memorizing the first 200 topmost asked questions.
No, absolutely. Yeah, that's true. And besides, almost all of these questions that, like, to be honest, I was asking Harsh about this some couple of weeks back, and he said it's almost impossible to even go through patterns. Like, it's just there are so many of them. But he said what would be really helpful is if you know what your weak area is, you can just filter by that particular topic and just find the most frequent questions, and in that try to use your best judgment to attempt like different patterns. So after a point you will sort of get a sense of how to attempt any problem because you're conceptually strong.
Right,
and then
that's I think that's what we're trying to do in these sessions.
Yeah.
Hey,
Look at it.
Devin.
Huh?
So can we discuss this 381 question now? Duplicates. I mean,
You
it's
wanna do it
easy.
now?
I don't know. I came up with some idea. Maybe we'll discuss about it. Maybe. I just want to verify
I
that.
think I have the same idea you do, but I want to try coding it first. Because it
What is
might
that
be
idea?
really easy. If what I'm thinking will work, it'll be a joke. If what I'm thinking is not going to work, I'm going to cry. So
I mean, I'm just going to say one word. Maybe that is that. Let me know if that is the answer.
Huh?
Should I say?
say the
Linked
word.
list.
Yeah,
What?
that's what I'm thinking also.
What did you say, Ankur?
A linked
Linked
list.
list.
Linked list. Okay.
Don't say anything else. Do not say anything else.
Yeah. Then tomorrow, now we have 4 problems to solve. We'll solve all. We'll see who suffered with a test case or something failed. Very important not to look at the solutions. Like the solution or and if you have a test case that failed, send it, like share it on LeetCode. We'll discuss it tomorrow. Otherwise, I mean, see, these brainstorming sessions are going to be really helpful because in the interviews also same thing is going to happen. Like exactly same.
Yeah.
Exactly same. I mean,
And
if you go
think
and
about
give
it,
a
everything
Google,
we're discussing are possible questions you can ask interviewers or possible things interviewers may bring up with you, right? By having an open discussion and by having everyone contribute, we get a whole bunch of different input, ideas, approaches, right?
And if you're targeting Google, they'll just give you Google Doc. I mean, even if you, let's say, they know that people have done LeetCode. And if you have memorized the solution, not memorized, but if you think that you have solved this question before, they will ask you to dig deep, explain everything, brute force, optimization, extra optimization. If you screw up in any place, right, straight reject. Like Google is so tough. Not tough, but it's very important to
very
discuss them.
particular about. Yeah, you're right.
They're strict.
Yeah. So, and we are like, I like 2 years back, I came into this company, right? I failed Google, Facebook, Uber, Yelp. Now my idea is I want to get into FANGs, like not even FANG, maybe Pinterest or big companies, right? Like startups or Airbnb. And I know that how I have to prepare now so that I don't do the mistakes which I did 2 years back. And what I've understood is these sessions, when you discuss, these are actually going to help you in your actual interviews. That is all I know, and that is what we are trying to do, right? So that is why it's important. Do these questions, do them. Only these 4 questions, either today, tomorrow, and tomorrow. If you're not able to do them, we'll do Dijkstra's. We'll have one more day. Otherwise, we'll do them tomorrow and then have Dijkstra's maybe on Wednesday. That is why I've been focusing on please complete those BFS questions and also backtracking questions before we go into the major ones.
Okay,
Srinivas,
so
did you?
Sorry to cut
Yeah,
you. So which all topics have you already covered, or is there a list of questions somewhere that you guys are targeting?
No targeting. I am just trying to explain. I mean, we are going through basics. and just basics.
Okay.
What do I say?
To
Like
be
for example,
honest,
if you have
Ankur,
You're going through the concept,
I
right?
found the tree method extremely effective. Like, to be honest, I started reattempting all the problems that I did in the past with breaking down the problem, coming up with the tree, and then reverse engineering the solution based on how I algorithmize it.
yes, it'll help you because I got the same. I mean, see, I gave an onsite with Microsoft. One of the guys, like I have 5-6 interviews. Then one of the questions was on backtracking, and I couldn't understand what is happening. I drew the tree, I solved it. I mean, that guy was so impressed. I mean, so 2 years back, I came up with all these techniques. You won't find them anywhere, right? I mean, I came up with it. I'm just teaching them now, and these are very effective. Very effective. Even someone who doesn't know what backtracking is, if he does it like this, he'll be able to
and
crack
that
Fang or
schema
whatever.
and that schema also helped. Like, I think they discussed the tree approach in textual, like in text, and they've sort of explained it with some basic algorithms, but there aren't too many. So what
Yes,
I
exactly.
did was I just wrote it down in words, and then I just converted the same into like the subsets and combinations and permutations, and started applying the concept from schema into solving the problem, and then it made a lot of sense, like to draw the tree.
It
to
will. I mean,
backtrack it.
exactly. And yes, I mean, it will make sense. That is why I'm trying to have all these sessions, make everyone do like see that if everyone is solving from basics, like intuition, and then solve the answer. So if even let's say, I know many people have done lead code. So as soon as someone says a lead code answer, I immediately ask, have you done the question before? I know immediately that that guy has done the question before. And I stop, and then I make, and Devan is just new. Like he's interviewing, I think after 15 years. And I know for him, it was like, I want him like to understand the intuitive nature of the question, explain. So I mean, today the way he approached this get random, like it was brilliant the way he solved it. I loved it the way he did. I mean, it was really nice. I mean, initially, right? If you were to see him, he sees a question and immediately he comes up with, I'll use 2 pointers. I'll use this technique. That was wrong, and I made him do. I mean, I force him to think like from brute force and then take step by step forward. I mean, that is what our goal is. So if
Because if you understand the brute force, and then you can come up with the optimized solution, and you can explain it, that gives you brownie points with the interviewer, right? Because if
any brownie point is useful.
if they give you a problem, right, you immediately come up with the optimized solution, and then you can explain how you arrived at it or why it is the optimized solution, you're screwed.
Yes. So that is what I did a mistake with Facebook as well. So they gave me a question on column by column.
Ankur, on like you said you were just about talking about Facebook interview experience, right? So what are the standards for the on-site interview in Facebook? Like, is it something of the range of a hard to like medium to hard type, where they just ask one problem and then there are like a lot of follow-ups, or do they ask like couple of problems and then expect you to solve every single one of them with maybe 1 or 2 follow-ups?
See, I gave in on-sites in many places. Everyone had the same way. You cannot prepare for one company and then you'll think that I'll land up into that. That is wrong. I mean, all those companies, they ask you algorithm questions and you have to have the same template, like brute force. Then even Facebook, they also expect the same thing. Like I was a new grad, like I had done my masters and I had done lead code like 4 times, 600 questions 4 times, right? All these matrix questions that I showed you today, this
wow,
2 years,
600
I had done
questions.
that.
How did you manage?
I had a lot
how
of
did
time.
you have time? Okay.
I was a master student. I just completed my first year. I was into my last semester and I had my winter vacation. So I had a lot of time, and it was like I was in Syracuse. It used to snow, and in Syracuse it's still snowing.
If it's snowing, you
snowing.
can't go anywhere in Syracuse.
Yeah, you
Forget
have to
about
sit at home.
driving.
You have to do lead code.
Yeah.
And not only lead code, I gave mock interviews in 50 places. Like interview.io is paid now. That time 2 years back it was not paid. I mean, it was free. And I had discovered a pattern, as in they opened their calendar exactly at night at 8 p.m. I go at 8 p.m. I book all the slots. No slots were available to anyone. I booked those slots. I gave so many mock interviews. I learned so much. And the interviewers were actually from Amazon, Uber, Airbnb. They actually gave me feedback. I learned from that, and then I gave my on-sites. And Facebook was also the same. Like, you give the question, you explain it. The only problem with me was I had done lead code so many times. I had all the solutions were there in my mind, right? So for example, I was asked column by column traversal. I had memorized the solution that okay, I'll do BFS here. It'll be done. The interviewer asked me, Ankur, will DFS work here? I had no idea. I mean, I had just, that answer was there in my mind. So I just said yes. Without doing any analyzing, I just said yes. I spent 30 minutes doing the DFS. After 30 minutes, I figured out I shouldn't have done DFS because I didn't do the intuitive answer. I didn't come up with brute force, didn't try to understand what is happening. After figuring out, spending 30 minutes, then I gave him the BFS. I got the reject. So that is why remembering questions from lead code is very wrong. You have to like understand what is happening. Why? So for example, a question, right? Some sequences, like all the numbers in an array are positive, and you have to figure out if there's a subarray with sum to a number. Okay, everyone knows it's a sliding window, but why is it a sliding window? What is a brute force answer? Why is a brute force answer? How do you look at the brute force answer and come up with the sliding window? That is what the interviewer is looking for.
And then for
if you're
that
able
one,
to
the
explain,
brute force is
Yeah.
all the subsets, and then
Yeah, I mean, you have to go,
Yeah.
you'll have to figure out
Ankur-
all the subsets and then like, so
I
the
have one question. So you just mentioned if straight away go for the optimized solution, they will reject. But anyhow, these patterns nowadays, everyone knows, right? They will just fake that some brute force algorithm, then they will go for.
how can you fake brute force? You cannot.
So fake in
You
the
have to
sense,
mention it.
use 2-3 for loops, it will go to brute force, right?
Yeah. So then
Depends
how
on
did you
the
come up with the optimized?
So optimized, see, to getting the optimized solution only, it will take, you should have some, maybe seen the algorithm somewhere, some practice, something you have to do, then we can go for optimized. Otherwise, normally,
but
by default.
So everyone has practiced. That everyone knows. You shouldn't be going to an interview without practicing. That is for sure. You don't go to an exam without practicing. Everyone knows that you have practiced.
Yeah, then
Only thing is,
for the bigger companies, right? They're not just seeing whether or not you can solve a problem, right? They want to look at your thought process behind the problem. They want to see you going from, okay, for the subset problem, right? If I can do O of n squared by creating every single subset, right? Then, okay, how do I get from there to a sliding window to optimize it, right? What's my thought process behind it? How do I derive that? If you talk through that, you don't have to code it out. Even if you talk through it,
Yeah.
you can show them, hey, here's what I'm thinking initially, right? But then here's how I can make it better without writing the initial code, because writing the initial code will take more time, right? By demonstrating that thought process and by showing the interviewer, okay, this is what you're thinking, this is why you're going from brute force to optimized version 1 to optimized version 2, and then coding optimized version 2, I think that'll work a lot better in your favor, especially at the bigger company. At mid to small level companies, it doesn't matter so much. But at the bigger companies, Ankur, correct me if I'm wrong, that counts for a lot.
yes. I mean, that's right. I gave so many mock interviews. I passed so many phone interviews, but I couldn't crack Google's phone interview. I couldn't. Because the way, I was able to solve the answer. I was able to solve the question, but I couldn't speak. I couldn't give him all the test cases. I couldn't explain him clearly why my algorithm worked. There was some rant.
Did you
I
get
couldn't
a
explain him
follow-up?
100%.
Did you get a
No.
follow-up after that because you were like, you solved it, but then you couldn't like get to all the test cases? Did
I
you
was
get,
able
like,
to
a
solve
follow-up?
it. I was able to solve it. After the interview, I even analyzed with Harsh. He said, Ankur, you solved it. It's brilliant. You solved it. But I got a reject. It was a tough question. Even Harsh, I gave the question to Harsh. He couldn't answer it. Then I explained to him, you do this, it'll work. He said, yes, Ankur, you'll get the accept. I got a reject. And when the recruiter called me, I was like going to tell my wife, let's go to I'll be going to the onsite. I got a reject. So then I figured out that it's if you're aiming for Google, if you're aiming for FANG, if you're anything like Facebook, Apple, Amazon, anything, you have to speak. So for example, in Amazon, I got a question on stacks. I couldn't understand how to use stacks there. the whole, but I was able to understand what the interviewer was trying to ask. He even gave me hints. I was able to solve it. I also got to the test case. I was able to solve it. He was very happy. And I was able to look at his, like, after so much of experience, I was able to look at his face and understand that he was happy with the answer, the way I solved it. And the question was on stacks, and it was related to some validation of tags, HTML tags. And that question is not on LeetCode. It's not the exact question on LeetCode. So that is what, I mean, you are bound to get a new question. How are you going to solve? It will be a brand new question. You have to use a concept.
Yeah.
And same thing with Uber also. They asked me a very simple stack question. I still got rejected because I was not able to cover some of the test cases. And that question was not on LeetCode. But the pressure
But
that they gave, they put you on.
you were not? 1 second. So what do you mean by you were not able to cover some test cases? Do they ask you to compile, or is it just whiteboarding?
Not
Or
compiling,
No,
you
that's
need
what,
to
only
whiteboard it.
whiteboarding.
You need to-
Only
you need to
whiteboarding.
talk about what your test cases are, run them through your code.
yeah, so when you're developing the code, by default you will come up with test cases, right? Like some base cases, the
Yeah, but you need to
functionality should
explain
be
why you have those test cases. You need to test for edge conditions.
Right.
You need to test for acceptance, right? If you don't
True,
come
true.
up with good test cases, then how are you going to validate your code?
Yeah, I get it. So when Ankur said it didn't pass all, like basically he couldn't
No,
come
it
up with
passed my,
some.
so I gave my test case. It worked on my test case. But
Okay.
and the interviewer told me, okay, you've done the coding. Now go to HackerRank. I remember he told me, go to HackerRank and solve it. I was able to pass it, but I still got the reject. And in the next day, I mean, Uber gave a feedback. He said, your algorithm, you didn't cover all the edge cases. It was a damage. And plus, usually it's only one guy who's interviewing you. In that situation, it was for L4 only, not L5. So that situation, there were two guys who were interviewing me. There was so much of pressure. I literally panicked. And that is what they are going to put you. Like if you're working for Uber, and it's like everyone is using Uber today, the way and day-to-day work, it's going to be a lot of pressure, right? That is what they are going to put you in. 45 minutes question. We are going to give pressure on you. Can you solve it under pressure?
So
that is why
even after your solution worked on HackerRank, you got a reject, is what you're saying.
So HackerRank, I only gave the test case. I only wrote the
Okay.
code to show them that it will work. And it did work.
Okay. So then
But I
why did
didn't
they
cover-
reject you?
They didn't like the
Why?
test cases.
No one gives a feedback. So next day, recruiter called me and just said, in your algorithm, you didn't cover all the edge cases.
But you
Like
just
my-
verified it on HackerRank, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
ver-
on my
okay,
test
okay.
case, that I wrote, which is a happy path.
Oh, so it's not HackerRank's test. It's just some input
No,
custom
I wrote my
case.
test case. Yes, that is
Oh,
what
okay.
even Google will do. Even Facebook will do. All on your
No,
on your
Google,
virtual.
Facebook doesn't let their candidates compile or check on
Yeah, but
HackerRank. It's
they're
just
not-
on.
That is what.
That's fine. If you don't care about compiling, then you still need
Right.
to articulate what good test cases are. You need to test for
Yes.
negative conditions.
If you don't, you reject. Even if you
positive
solve it,
conditions.
reject. That's all.
Just
So
getting your code
that's all.
right is not enough. You need to explain it. You need to get the code. You need to talk about the proper test cases, which cover edge cases. It didn't need to be exhaustive, but you need to cover the major ones, right?
So Coder, so I'll upload the video of today. So you joined half
Sure.
an hour late. So
Yeah.
just go through this question, the first question, get random, and just see how Sue, Vishal, and Deven, they were discussing. And just,
Okay.
and Deven was leading more. He was discussing more. I would say that was like brilliant. If you got a same question in Google, that was the most brilliant way to actually give the answer.
Okay.
Like the way he did it was like brilliant. Think about all, like he came up with all, even Vishal, Sue, they came up with the most unoptimized solution. Then they thought, okay, this is giving O of 1, that is giving O of n. Then they came up with a different answer, then a different answer. Then eventually they came up with, okay, there's a hole. Okay, fine, brilliant. Then
Mhm.
Ankita said, okay, we'll do the replace.
Mm.
Replace is just the last end, but it's the whole pattern, the way you,
Yeah,
that you approach. That will what
Agree.
give you
Yeah.
reject or accept. It's not exact. And LeetCode is very different. It's like either you pass all your test cases or you don't. There's no pressure. No one is interviewing you. You have no idea how your communication skills are. You have no idea what your time management is. So how does even LeetCode help you?
Yeah, I agree.
And
By
the way
sitting
we do
down
all
and
these sessions
discussing it
is
with a bunch of people.
Ankur, where you are uploading these videos in YouTube? Can you share that link?
He'll share it
Yeah. I
on,
mean, I've not been uploading like since 3, 4 or 1 week, but I'll do that.
Cool.
I'll
Ankur,
share that link.
I have to drop off. I'm sorry, but thank you so much for today's session, guys.
Okay, Ankur,
Yeah, I'll
can
also.
you just make sure you link the question?
Ankur, actually we have missed the previous session. So what the questions